Good evening. I'm Artist, I'm Science, and today we are doing Marvel Deep Dive. I didn't actually mean to have that picture up yet, but, hang on. Ignore that you saw that. So, if you don't know what this is me going over, the lore of a bunch of Marvel characters. Now, as it is Spider-May, this theme for this month's Marvel Deep Dives is Spider-Man. So, I actually am going to be consulting 2 books this time, because I have 2 books. One is more, Spider-Man-centric, and the other is the Marvel Encyclopedia that I've been using for all of these Marvel Deep Dives. So, yeah, we'll be going over a bunch of characters in these books, and the characters that I have chosen are in both of these books, and the other book is... I'll be real, it's even more outdated than the Marvel Encyclopedia that I've been using, but just because it's outdated by today's standards doesn't mean it's completely irrelevant. This is speaking about the history of these characters in these comics. So, yeah, let's reveal the book, because it is the Spider-Man The Ultimate Guide from... When was this from? Why does it not say on the back? Does it say on the first few pages? Now, this is the copy that I got in, well, when it was first released, when I was like, what, 8, 9, 10, somewhere around there? When does this really not say when this is from? Like, anywhere? This has to. Maybe the last page. Oh, first American edition, 2001. Oh. Yeah, maybe this was, like, from when I was 7. Could have been 8. Anyways, this is from 2001. Now, this is, a little outdated by today's standards, again, but, like, again, it does not mean that this is completely irrelevant, because this is speaking about the history of these characters as they have been in the past. Now, a couple of them are definitely different nowadays as opposed to when this first released, but hey, it's what I've got. Anyways, let's start with our first Marvel character for today, which is, you know him, you love him. He's the one that this month is dedicated to, Spider-Man. So, let's get started. Now, we are starting with the Ultimate Guide, the Spider-Man Ultimate Guide. But then we will be switching to the other book, because the other book is more up-to-date, but this book is more in-depth, which is why I'm consulting both books. Now, there are, like, a lot of pages for Spider-Man. Like, there are pages dedicated to his, the origin, the spider sense, wall crawling, strengthened agility, web slinging, excuse me. All of the different costumes he's had, his partners, like, this goes super, super in depth. However, and like, each of those pages that I just mentioned, they are like 2 pages each. So this does go pretty in depth. However, we'll be sticking to, actually, maybe we'll switch it to the origin. Yeah, maybe we'll switch it over to being the origin instead of what I had, actually, no, we'll stick to the original plan. So, we're starting off with, the section called Peter Parker. So, let's get started. Peter Parker was only a young boy when his parents died in a plane crash. He immediately moved in with his father's older brother and wife, Ben and May Parker. They were an elderly couple with no children of their own, and they raised Peter as if they were their own son. They rarely spoke about Peter's real parents, so Peter had become convinced that his parents had left him because of something he had done. Yikes. Afraid of being abandoned, Peter worked hard to win his aunt and uncle's approval, though he didn't have to worry. Ben and May truly loved their nephew and would have done anything to please him. Peter was an honors student, and his teachers always thought very highly of him. He always came prepared for class and completed all of the assignments. The other students, however, had little time for a know-it-all like Puny Parker. Oh, wow, that's... This is the book that's saying that. Like, what the heck? The girls thought he was too quiet, and the boys considered him a wimp. Peter was painfully shy, and some of his classmates misinterpreted his silence for snobbery. Oh, that's... Oof. By the way, this was in the 60s when when Spider-Man was originally conceptualized. So, yeah, this is excuse me. This is of the times, I guess. He had trouble making friends, but he never stopped trying. He often invited other students to join him at science exhibits or monster movies, but they usually responded with ridicule and almost never asked him to join them. Where was I? Oh, right there. Peter's glasses. Just a quick, short paragraph about this. May insisted that Peter wear glasses, but after he became Spider-Man, his eyesight improved. Oh, that's not something that just movies just invented. Okay, cool. Flash Thompson broke Peter's last pair of glasses during a shoving match, and Peter never got around to buying a new pair. Fair. I mean, like, if you don't need glasses and you're kind of poor, then, why buy new glasses? Am I right? Subhuman strength. Before he gained his spider powers, Peter Parker had considerably less than average strength for a boy of his age. Clumsy and uncoordinated, he also had no athletic ability. He even had a fear of heights, too. Even getting a book from the top shelf of the library resulted in him suffering severe symptoms of vertigo. Oh, sheesh. Now, see, this is the kind of stuff they don't really talk about much after he gets his spider powers, because like he has spider powers now, so he doesn't have to struggle with this stuff anymore. Let's skip ahead a little bit, because we have a lot to go over. Graduation day. Peter Parker graduated from Midtown High with the highest scholastic average in the school's history. But he almost missed the ceremony. Instead of attending to last-minute graduation details, Peter was trading punches with a superhuman villain, the Molten Man. Now that's someone that you don't really hear about. Is Molten Man even in the first section? I don't know that they are. Maybe. Who knows? He won the fight and arrived home just in time to change for the ceremony. Later, he was thrilled to discover that he had won a full scholarship to Empire State University. Ooh, nice. Spider-Man ruined his... by the way, there's no college degree. Spider-Man ruined Peter's college graduation. Oh. In the week before the ceremony, Spidey was battling the Green Goblin and the Rocket Racer. He couldn't graduate with the rest of the class since he'd missed a required gym class. What? What do you mean gym class in college? What? Is that something that happened in the 60s? Like, you had to have gym class in college? What? Yeah, it says college graduation. Why? Why would they require gym class in college? What? A serious student. Fascinated with science ever since Uncle Ben took him into his first monster movie, Peter Parker immersed himself in his studies. Despite web swinging and a hectic social life, he was determined to be a success to make his Aunt May proud. Postgraduate work. Peter finally got his degree from Empire State University, but he continued his studies as a graduate student and took a job as a teaching assistant. With all these activities, as well as being Spider-Man, Peter's life got a little too hectic. He decided he needed a rest, and he withdrew from the graduate program. Later, taking Aunt May's advice, he returned to college and continued working towards his master's degree. The man behind the mask. Throughout his career as Spider-Man, Peter had always been torn between his sense of duty and the mixed feelings he has received from the public. This perception has varied from praise to outright condemnation, and it has left the teenager confused about his role. It has even driven him to the brink of despair, causing him to throw away his costume and renounce his alter ego. Nevertheless, his dedication to using his powers responsibly has always led to Peter donning his mask again in the hope that someday the world will learn to appreciate Spider-Man. Well, he'll get his appreciation one day. One day! I think he has plenty of appreciation in the comics nowadays. Yeah, you know, I think I will go over the... I mean, do I need to go over the origin? Because, like... Spider Bite! Ah! Uncle Ben, shoot! Bang! Oh no, it was the guy that I failed to stop! Oh no, It's my fault, all my fault. If only I had stopped him when I could have, but I didn't, and now Uncle Ben is dead. I don't think I need to go over the origin. Everyone knows the origin of Spider-Man. Radioactive blood. Blah 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 blah. Yeah, I'm gonna skip the origin because, like, everyone knows Spider-Man's origin. It varies slightly between different media, but, like, it's generally always pretty much the same, save for, like, a couple details here or there. He can swing on webs. He has spider sense. He has superhuman strength. The proportionate strength of a spider. Wall crawling. Incredible agility. Incredible ingenuity for crafting the web. Web shooters. That's what they're called. So, yeah, that's Spider-Man in the Ultimate Guide. So, I'm actually curious what the Marvel Encyclopedia has to say, because it is more up to date, and I believe it has quite a few pages, actually. Now, this encyclopedia has, like, a lot of pages for more important characters, so I don't doubt that there are a lot of pages for Spider-Man. There are 4 full pages. And then there's Spider-Girl, Spider-Man 2099, Spider-Man 2211, Spider-Woman. There's actually 3 different Spider-Women, but that's not for today. So, this is, once again, this is the Marvel Encyclopedia that is listed up there. Wait, what? Oh, wait, hold on. Are there 6 pages? Hang on. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god, there are 6 whole pages for Spidey. Sheesh. Oh god, what did I click? Oh. Oh. That was on the scale for me. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, let's start with this. Spider-Man, your friendly neighborhood web swinger. Real name, Peter Benjamin Parker. Occupation, freelance photographer, science teacher. That's actually not, accurate to nowadays. What is his current job in the comics? Actually, now I'm curious. Spider-Man current job. Sometimes student, sometimes scientist, sometimes photographer. Well, duh. Last I knew he was working for a big company. But I don't remember. I'm just looking for the most recent thing. I don't think I can find anything super recent. Yeah, I don't know, and I'm just looking at the wiki right now. Yeah, that didn't really tell me anything. All right, here we go. Oh my god. He's working on he's working at Oscorp. Oh, but it's under different management. Okay. Okay. Oh, wait, maybe? I don't know. Comics are confusing because they always change them and they always want them to be constantly changing but also returning to status quo. I don't know. Alright. Let's get on with it. He's only 5'10"? I thought it would have been at least 6 foot. Fair enough. Peter Parker's parents died in a plane crash while he was still a child. When they said goodbye at the airport, his parents told him to be a good boy for his Aunt May and Uncle Ben Parker, who later raised him as their own son. Peter always thought of his Uncle Ben as his best friend. Not only did Ben Parker spend quality time with the boy, he also had a great sense of humor and spent many hours telling jokes and pulling gags on Peter, who had developed a real appreciation for quips and pranks. Ah, now see that actually fills gaps and makes a lot of sense. Like he's incredibly quippy. That's one of the main things that he's really known for, his personality. Like, in terms of his personality, his quips and jokes, and constant needs to be joking on his villains. Peter studied hard in school and became an honor student. Although his teachers praised him, the other students had little use for the know-it-all like Puny Parker. That's word for word what the other book said. Like, the other students had little use for a know-it-all like Puny Parker. That is word for word what the other book said. Okay. The girls thought him too quiet. The boys considered him a wimp. Word for word! That was the same sentence again. What? Okay. On the day his life changed forever, Peter went down to a science exhibition by himself where he had been bitten by a common house spider that had been exposed to a massive dose of radiation. Within a few hours, Peter discovered that he could stick to walls and had gained other amazing arachnid abilities. Anxious to cash in on his new powers, he designed a distinctive costume that concealed his identity, built a pair of web shooters, and went into show business using The Amazing Spider-Man as his stage name. One night after a performance, he was walking towards an elevator when a security guard asked him to stop a fleeing man. However, Peter Parker did nothing and the burglar escaped. A few days later, the same thief murdered Peter's Uncle Ben. Filled with remorse, Peter vowed that he would never allow another innocent person to suffer because Spider-Man had failed to act. He had learned in the hardest way possible to use his great powers in a responsible manner. Fair enough. Pretty standard stuff. High school hero. Spider-Man soon found himself battling criminals such as the Chameleon, the Vulture, Dr. Octopus, the Sandman, Dr. Doom, the Lizard, Electro, Mysterio, the Green Goblin, Scorpion, and many more. That was already a lot. He attempted to join the Fantastic Four and began a feud with the Human Torch. Really? That's where it stops? It doesn't say anything about, oh, hey, they don't actually pay money, so he didn't want to join. Okay. J. Jonah Jameson, publisher of the Daily Bugle, hated masked vigilantes and claimed Spider-Man was a menace to the public. Peter saw an opportunity to exploit Jameson's campaign and began taking pictures of himself as Spider-Man. He was soon supporting himself by selling these pictures to the Daily Bugle on a freelance basis. Peter eventually graduated from Midtown High with the highest scholastic average in the school's history. However, he almost missed the graduation ceremony. While the other seniors were donning caps and gowns, he was busy battling the Molten Man. He won his fight and arrived at the ceremony just in time to learn that he had won a full scholarship to Empire State University. Pretty good. Pretty good so far. Alright, let's see. This says essential storylines. Amazing Spider-Man numbers 31 through 33. Spider-Man battles the Master Planner in order to obtain a rare serum that can save Aunt May's life. All right. Amazing Spider-Man, Fearful Symmetry, or Kraven's Last Hunt. What does TPB stand for? What does that mean? Spider-Man learns his new black costume is actually an alien symbiote. Oh, right. Yes. Well, oh, wait. No. Hang on. I skipped ahead. That was the next issue. Amazing Spider-Man, Fearful Symmetry, or Kraven's Last Hunt. Kraven the Hunter kidnaps Spider-Man and takes his place in a battle against the deadly vermin. Oh, I remember reading about that one. Yeah. And Spider-Man, the saga of the alien symbiote, that's the one where Spider-Man learns his new black costume is actually an alien symbiote. Amazing Spider-Man versus Venom. Spider-Man meets his match when Venom enters his life. Amazing Spider-Man Identity Crisis. When a $5 million bounty is placed on his head for a murder he didn't commit, Spider-Man must adapt 4 new costumed identities to find the real murderer. I do remember reading about that too. Amazing Spider-Man Coming Home. Spider-Man meets the man called Ezekiel and learns that there may be a lot more to his origin than he ever realized. Really? I haven't heard about that one. College years and beyond. While in college, Peter met Mary Jane Watson, his future wife, but began to date Gwen Stacy. Gwen would later die tragically at the hands of the Green Goblin. Peter became fast friends with Harry Osborn, and later learned that the Green Goblin was secretly Harry's father. Norman. Spider-Man also encountered such villains as Kingpin, the Rhino, the Shocker, Silvermane, and the Prowler. After graduating from college, Peter encountered the acrobatic cat burglar Black Cat, his girlfriend for a short while, and the criminals Hydro Man, Speed Demon, and the Hobgoblin. He also battled the unstoppable Juggernaut and cosmically powered Fire Lord. He temporarily donned a new black costume that possessed some additional new powers, but later proved to be an alien symbiote. Meanwhile, his relationship with the beautiful model, Mary Jane Watson, had grown serious and they were married. Good for them. After leading a okay. After leading a European crime cult for many years, Norman Osborn re-entered Peter's life. Peter had also met a man called Ezekiel who claimed that Spider-Man's powers were the result of magic and not a radioactive spider. What? Peter later confronted the Queen, who had the power to control insects and mutated him into a giant spider. Oh, fun. This is not in the 60s stuff. Or really anything that is like that is in the other book. Hello, welcome on in. We are doing a Marvel deep dive, which is going into the characters of the Marvel comics. Welcome. We're on Spider-Man right now. So if you want to hear about Spider-Man, feel free to take a seat. Queen turned him into a giant mutated spider. After returning his human form, Peter learned that his powers and strength had been increased and that he had gained the ability to produce organic webbing. Ah, right, that's when that was introduced. Cool. I'm gonna be real, I never really liked organic webbing. Like, it took away some of Peter's, like, ingenuity. Like, that really made him feel like he didn't have as much ingenuity in the movies as he did in the comics. Because, like, in the comics, he always, like, fashioned his own tech, his own, like, web shooters, his spider trackers, his, like, there was a ton of, oh my god. Yo, Hanson, thank you so much for the raid. We're doing the Marvel deep dive, which is going into the origins and characterization of Marvel characters. Today's theme is, of course, Spider-Man and other affiliated characters such as some of his villains. Welcome on in. All right. Where was I? Do you like me some Spider-Man? Yeah, we've been doing Spider-Man stuff all month. What about heroes he sides with a lot? You know, I don't think I included any heroes because like a lot of the other heroes I would like to save for future Marvel deep dives. Yeah, I think I might have like introduced I might have included one that's like sometimes a hero but sometimes a villain. We'll get over that. We'll get to that in a bit. There are freaking 6 pages of Spider-Man in this book that I'm looking at. It's crazy. Like, they included a lot of Spider-Man in this Marvel Encyclopedia. Which is this one. Where was I? Oh yeah. I didn't really like that they introduced organic webbing into the comics because that took away some of the ingenuity that Spider-Man has because he creates a lot of his own tech, like spider trackers, like web shooters, like blah 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 blah. Like I'm not a huge fan that they did that in the comics after they put that in the movies. Like it's not a huge fan. Let's see here. Peter learned that his powers and strength had been increased and that he gained the ability to produce organic webbing. Peter also joined a new Avengers team. Ooh, that's fun. After a battle with the mysterious, super strong vampiric villain Morlun, in which Peter appeared to have been killed, Peter temporarily accepted a new armored costume and a job working for Tony Stark. However, he has since returned to his traditional look. Fair enough. Along with other heroes, Spider-Man was transported to a planet created by a near omnipotent being called the Beyonder, and forced to fight a series of secret wars. When his original red and blue costume was torn in battle, I got distracted. When it was torn in battle, the web swinger was trying to repair it, but mistakenly activated a device that released. Hang on, I'm gonna get rid of Discord because it keeps distracting me. Mistakenly activated a device that released a little black ball. The ball spread across him, duplicating the costume worn by the Julia Carpenter Spider-Woman. What? I thought it was just spun from his own imagination. Huh. Spider-Man's new suit could instantly mimic any kind of clothing, could carry his camera and spare change, was equipped with its own web shooters, and possessed a seemingly endless supply of webbing. He eventually discovered that the alien suit was a symbiote with a mind of its own. Spider-Man had to enlist the scientific help of Mr. Fantastic to remove it, using sound waves at a certain frequency. Yeah, that does seem to be the symbiote's weakness, usually. Not always, but usually. Rejected by Spidey, the symbiote grafted itself to Eddie Brock to become Venom. More on that later. Peter sided with Iron Man, Tony Stark, during the Civil War, even going as far as to register with the government and expose his true identity during a televised press conference. Bad move, Peter. Bad move. He quickly came to regret this decision when he saw the tactics of pro-registration forces used to win, and he switched sides to join Captain America's resistance. For a short time, he returned to his black suit while he, Mary Jane, and Aunt May went into hiding, but he soon returned to his red and blue suit. By the way, that black and white suit was not an actual symbiote. It was just a suit that was created in the likeness of the black suit. And it's honestly only used in times of, like, great pressure for Spider-Man. Like, he only whips it out in times of dire straits. Not that it gives him any special abilities or anything, but, like, it kind of intimidates his foes more. Like, it kind of scares them because, uh-oh, he has the symbiote again. Oh, God, I need to run. Because normally he's known as the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but that suit symbolizes great times of a lot of pressure. Let's just put it like that. Peter Parker tangled up Spider-Man in his webs, forcing Tony Stark to listen to his pleas for financial help to save Aunt May's life. All right. Needing money to pay for Aunt May's treatment. Oh, wait, what? Oh, whoops. I skipped ahead. Besides the government hounding him, Peter now had to deal with the fact that all his old foes knew who he was. From inside prison, the Kingpin hired an assassin who waited outside the hotel room in which Peter, Mary Jane, and Aunt May were staying. When Peter's guard was down, he fired. Peter's spider sense enabled him to dodge the bullet, but it struck Aunt May. That's why that decision to reveal his identity was stupid. You don't do that if you're a Spider-Man with a high profile and a lot of villains that want you dead. Peter and Mary Jane rushed her to the hospital, where the doctors informed them that she was too frail to survive. Needing money to pay for Aunt May's treatment, Peter turned to the wealthiest man he knew, Tony Stark. Tony immediately changed into Iron Man and tried to arrest Peter, but Peter managed to entangle Spider-Man with his new webs, which now sprang directly from his wrists rather than from a web shooter. While Iron Man was trapped, Peter accused Tony of misleading him into making the worst mistake of his life. He then demanded that Tony help Aunt May. Oh, that's the sentence. Help Aunt May. Tony refused, saying that he couldn't be seen aiding and abetting a known criminal like Peter Parker, free from the web. Oh, wait a minute. Free from Peter. Breaking free from the webs, he flew off without trying to arrest Peter again. But he made it clear that he would not help. Later, Tony's butler, Edwin Jarvis, who had been dating Aunt May. Oh, dating? Sheesh. Who had been dating Aunt May, arrived at the hospital with a check for $2 million to help pay for the care. Oh, sheesh. Despite the money, however, the doctor believed that Aunt May would not live long. Oh, sheesh. And then here comes the part that everyone, including me, hates. Mephisto's deal. Torn apart with guilt over Aunt May's shooting, Peter scoured the city for a cure. He visited Doctor Strange, who transported Spider-Man's astral form around the globe to ask for help, but no one could do anything to save her. Peter even tried to travel back in time to stop the shooting, but failed. Then Mephisto approached Peter and Mary Jane with an offer. He would save Aunt May and alter reality so that no one would remember that Peter was Spider-Man. All he wanted in exchange was their greatest source of happiness. Their marriage. Excuse me. Just for dramatic effect. Their marriage. Dun dun. What am I doing? Wait, do I even have dun dun dun? I don't think I do. Yeah, no, I don't have it. Okay, I'll just say dun dun dun. Searching their souls, Peter and Mary Jane agreed to Mephisto's offer. By the way, Mephisto is the devil of the Marvel universe. Just so it's clear. The next morning, Peter awoke alone, but with Aunt May alive and well and cooking him a stack of wheat cakes. And with no one aware that anything had ever been different. Fun. Like, the One More Day storyline is just so bad. It's just bad. All changed. While Mephisto had supposedly only made a couple of changes, their effect was to alter Peter's life drastically. He was alone once again, living at his Aunt May's and looking for an apartment in Manhattan. His old friend Harry Osborn had returned after being presumed dead. Okay. Because comics are so silly. And without Mary Jane in his life, Peter was unlucky in love. Again, so silly, these comics. So silly sometimes. Tired of bargaining for souls, Mephisto demanded something far more rare from Peter and Mary Jane, the pure happiness found in their true love for each other. Like, I don't like that the writers just wrote in, hey, we want your marriage. We want you unmarried. Because reasons. We don't want Peter to be happy. That would be crazy. Freaking hate the writers for... Or at least I hate the modern writers for hating Peter being happy. He deserves some happiness, man. Come on. Some things, however, stayed the same. With the Daily Bugle having cast troubles, J. Jonah Jameson hadn't paid Peter for several photos he'd bought. When Peter confronted Jameson about the money he was owed, they fell into a shouting match, and Jameson collapsed from a heart attack. Oh, sheesh. Jameson survived, but the paper had to be sold, and Peter wound up working as a paparazzo. Oh. He soon gave that up to become a photographer for Ben Urich's new paper, Frontline. Sheesh. I didn't know about that, the Jameson having a heart attack. Sheesh. Altered states. Many of Spider-Man's foes cropped up soon after Peter's life changed. With his secret identity once more intact, however, he could fight them on his own terms. Aunt May now did volunteer work at a homeless shelter, working under philanthropist Martin Lee, who was secretly Chinatown crime lord Mr. Negative. Eddie Brock returned no longer as Venom, but as the new anti-Venom. Oh. Norman Osborn, see Green Goblin, showed up as the leader of the Thunderbolts. And even eventually the Avengers, a separate team from the Secret Avengers, with which Spider-Man still worked. He also battled a new villain called Menace. I don't know that one. Who used many of the Green Goblin's old tricks. A new hero, Jackpot, entered Peter's life too, and she was a tall, beautiful redhead. Peter suspected her of actually being Mary Jane, with whom he still had a romantic but apparently sour history. Instead, she turned out to be... Hold on, let me read this. Alana Jobson? Never heard of them. A woman who had bought the identity from Sarah Errett? Alana died soon after Peter learned her secret, destroyed by the drugs she had been taking to gain her powers. Oh, fun. Drugs. While Peter enjoyed the fact that no one knew his secret identity, he recently told a few of his friends on the Avengers team his true name. Both Peter Parker and Spider-Man started all over again with a brand new day. But Mary Jane was no longer by Peter's side, which is really sad and disappointing. Oh, okay, here's actually an answer to a question I was curious about. Menace turned out to be none other than Lily Hollister. I don't know who that is. The woman who Peter's unwitting friend Harry Osborn, second Green Goblin, hoped to marry. As Menace, she publicly attacked her father to drum up sympathy support for his mayoral campaign. Oh, friggin' politics! God dang. Okay. On to the final 2 pages. Spider-Man continued again. Oh, shoot. Okay, that's fine. I still have the page. I think. Uh-oh. Hang on. Losing more bookmarks. Here we go. All right. Dark Days. During the Dark Reign, Peter had to deal with the fact that his worst enemy, Norman Osborn, had taken charge of the security in the US. To make matters even worse, Osborn recruited villains to pose as well-known heroes to form a new Avengers team loyal to him. With Venom, Matt Gargan, aka Scorpion. Fucking Scorpion? Like... Scorpion as Venom. Fun. Venom posing as black-suited Spider-Man. Because of this, Peter felt compelled to reveal his identity to the Avengers, and later to the Fantastic Four. He discovered that his deal with Mephisto, which he didn't remember making, had given him given the world a psychic blind spot when it came to Spider-Man's identity. Once he revealed his identity to someone, the blind spot was removed, and any memories a person had about Spider-Man's identity came flooding back. Ah. A flashback story revealed that in the timeline Mephisto had modified, Peter and Mary Jane had never married because he'd missed their wedding day. Oh, that sucks. Man. When Peter Parker met Miles Morales, I'm surprised they have Miles in this. Good. Heck yeah. When Peter Parker met Miles Morales, the new Spider-Man from the Earth 1610, the Ultimate Universe, he was shocked to discover that the Peter Parker of that world had been killed. Miles had received his powers from the bite of a genetically enhanced spider, but he hadn't felt the responsibility to use them until the Spider-Man of his world died. Right. Yeah. The Kravenovs. The surviving family of Kraven the Hunter, his children Anna and Aloysia? Helped by the Chameleon, Kraven's half-brother. We'll get into that, maybe. Possibly. Actually, I don't know. We'll see. And led by his wife, Sasha Kravinoff, decided to take their revenge on Spider-Man. They started by kidnapping Madam Web and Maddie Franklin, the third Spider-Woman. Using Madam Web's powers, they forced Spider-Man to battle a gallery of his old foes, weakening him until they were ready to launch their ultimate plan. The Kravinoffs sacrificed Maddie to revive the dead Vladimir Kravinoff, Kravinoff's son, known as the Grim Hunter. However, he came back to life as a half-lion creature rather than himself. Fun. That's why you don't resurrect the dead. It always goes wrong. Horribly, horribly wrong. In this case, he came back as a furry. Which, I mean, nothing against furries. I'm just saying. Came back horribly wrong. In this case. Using what they learned from this attempt, they sacrificed Spider-Man to bring Kraven himself back from the dead. It turned out that they'd killed Spidey's clone, Kane, instead, who'd swapped himself with Peter. Oh. Yeah, the clone saga is something. Yeah, the clone saga. God, I don't think we'll even have time to get into that because... Oh god, we're 56 minutes in and we aren't even done with the Spider-Man section. Good lord. However, we're on the last page of Spider-Man, so there we go. Let's see here. When he worked for the Future Foundation, Spider-Man wore an all-new white and black costume, as opposed to a black and white costume. Peter always had a hard time holding a job, but he had been working as a science teacher at his old school, Midtown High in Queens. After his Aunt May married John Johan Jameson Sr., the father of J. Jonah Jameson. Okay, that's just silly, but okay. However, May and John asked Jonah, who had become the mayor of New York City, if they could find Peter a better job. Jonah's wife, Marla Madison, recommended Peter to Horizon Labs, where he became the one of the think tank's top scientists. Meanwhile, there's always a meanwhile. Meanwhile, after the apparent death of his pal, the Human Torch, what? Johnny died at some point. I guess that shouldn't be a huge surprise because, like, comics have heroes constantly dying and coming back, but still. After Johnny died, Spider-Man joined the Fantastic Four as the Torch had requested in his will. Oh, sheesh. He served with their Future Foundation until the Torch returned, because, of course, he came back to life. Oh, I guess apparent death. My bad. Yo, how's it going? This is Marvel Deep Dive. We're looking into origin stories and characterizations of Marvel characters. He served in their Future Foundations until the Torch returned. He also served with the Avengers after Norman Osborn was removed from power at the end of the Dark Reign. Dark Reign sounds like a fun time, and by fun, I mean, oh god, there's a lot of stuff that went horribly wrong. Spider Island. The Jackal, that's always a fun character. The Jackal, who had been behind all of Peter's problems with clones, returned with a new plot. Working for the Spider Queen and with Kane revived as a new Jackal-controlled tarantula. Oh, fun! Isn't that fun? Freaking clones, man. The Jackal infected most of the citizens of Manhattan with a virus that gave them superpowers. Fortunately, Mr. Fantastic created a cure for the virus using the symbiote of anti-venom. During this time, Peter displayed the use of his spider powers on live TV. This weakened the psychic blind spot on the world had about his identity of Spider-Man. His girlfriend at the time, forensic police officer Carly Cooper, suspected who Peter was and broke up with him. What? Why would you break up with him because he's Spider-Man? What? That's dumb. Dumb. Superior Spider-Man. Now, this one is one I didn't actually get into, but I hear a lot of praise about. What? Yo, Jay, how's it going? Just gonna lurk while you get sleepy? Sounds good. The fabled and dying Dr. Octopus returned as Spider-Man's greatest foe. Using a specialized Octobot, he managed to swap his mind with that of Spider-Man, retrapping Peter in his body. Despite his best efforts, Peter could not reverse this before Doc Ock's body died. A repentant Doc Ock took up Peter's life as his own, determined to do a better job than Peter had managed. Still, some part of Peter's mind survived in his body, and he eventually managed to communicate with Doc Ock inside their shared head. They wound up in a psychic battle in which Doc Ock triumphed. Soon after, he deleted all of Peter's memories from his mind, wishing to make himself the superior Spider-Man. Doc Ock went back to school, finished the doctorate Peter had never managed to achieve. He also dated a new woman, worked closely with Mayor Jameson to fight crime, and used hirelings and a slew of Spider-Bots to help him patrol the city. Wait, that's it? It ends there? I guess this book came out in the middle of Superior Spider-Man. Man, Superior Spider-Man, it always seemed like... I don't know, it always seemed a little messy because, like, oh, it's Spider-Man, but it's not actually Spider-Man, it's Doc Ock in Spider-Man's body, but oh, Peter died in Doc Ock's body, except he is still somehow in his own body as well, but then Superior Spider-Man is just messy. Messy, messy, messy. Anyways, Peter eventually gets his body back. And Doc Ock gets his own body that's not dead because his original body died. It's a whole thing. But that book did not get into it because that is a little old for that issue, I guess. Anyways, that concludes the Spider-Man section of this. So, now we can move on to, what was the next one? Rhino! Oh, hey, Rhino! Buddy, pal! The big dumb and dumb. Alright, where's Rhino? Vulture, Doc Ock, Sandman, Lizard... I know he's around here somewhere. Green Goblin. Where is Rhino? Okay, no, seriously, where's Rhino? Here's Rhino! All right. Let's get into it. As strong as the beast who bears whose name he bears, the Rhino is one of Spider-Man's most powerful enemies. As of this book, which is from 2001. 20 years is a lot of time for things to change. I don't think Rhino is even that relevant anymore. Actually, I did read a comic about Rhino where he actually gained, like, a lot of intelligence, and the city was somewhat better off for it, but then he ended up being really miserable. So he ended up giving up all of his intelligence and going back to Big Meathead, and then he was happier. As they say, ignorance is bliss. Always known as a big dummy dum-dum. As strong as the beast whose name he bears, the Rhino is one of Spider-Man's most powerful enemies. He possesses incredible human strength, superhuman strength, and has been known to lift objects that weigh as much as 80 tons. He is practically impervious to pain, and he is also very fast for someone of his size and mass. Thanks to his uncanny endurance, he can run for hours at a time without tiring and can even achieve a top speed of nearly 100 miles per hour. On foot, mind you. That's faster than most speed limits. Sheesh. Nothing can withstand the charge of the Rhino. Concrete buildings crumble before him, trucks are crushed in his path, and cars are left twisted and broken into his destructive wake. The Rhino's real name has never been revealed. As of this book, it's old, so since then, it actually has been revealed, apparently. All that is known about him is that he was a poor Russian immigrant who worked as a small-time muscle man for professional criminals. He acted as a collection agent for the local loan sharks, or was hired whenever a heist required heavy lifting. At one point, foreign spies approached him and made him an offer he couldn't refuse. They wanted to create an unstoppable superhuman agent and chose him because of his muscular physique and his lack of intelligence. Since he needed the money to bring his mother and relatives to America, he agreed to their requests. For several months, he underwent a series of chemical and radiation treatments that gave him powers and turned him into the Rhino. He was not smart taking this deal. I'm gonna take a sip of water. Speaking of taking things. Oh god, that was a lot more than a sip. More than a costume. A team of scientists designed and developed the Rhino's specifically a special suit to cover his body, which had been bulked up by the chemical and radiation treatment. The costume is constructed of large layers of polymer and, like the hide of a real rhinoceros, is thick, coarse, and highly resistant to damage. It is bulletproof, can even withstand the explosive impact of an anti-tank missile. Sheesh. While the Rhino can veer to the left or right once he reaches running speed, he cannot make sharp turns or sudden stops. Well, yeah, because that's physics. Target, John Jameson. Oh, geez. The astronaut? Wow. My son, the astronaut. The Rhino's first assignment was to abduct John Jameson. the son of J. Jonah Jameson. Since John was an astronaut in the United States Space Program. Spice! The Rhino's bosses intended to sell him to the highest bidder. Oh. I see. Spider-Man learned of the Rhino's plans and rushed to John's defense. With his superior speed and agility, Spider-Man dazzled his inexperienced Rhino, who was captured by the police. The Rhino was confined to a prison hospital, where he was kept under heavy sedation while awaiting trial. One of the things that Spider-Man is known for, like, this is something that is very often said, he is faster than anyone stronger than him, and he's stronger than anyone faster than him. So, like, what was the saying? I'm trying to think of the saying. Hang on. Shoot. Oh, here it is. Jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. So, like, Spider-Man really is a jack of all trades, really, when you think about it. With the quote, he's often faster than anyone stronger than him, and stronger than anyone faster than him. Like, with that in mind, Spider-Man is incredibly powerful. Like, it's very important to note that. It's like, he's not the fastest, he's not the strongest, but he has pretty good average of both. Pretty good. And if he isn't able to outspeed or outstrength someone, he's usually able to outsmart them. Because, like, he's really smart too. Like, I'm just saying. While earlier versions of his costume were bonded to his skin, the Rhino's present bodysuit can be removed. Oh. The horns are made of the same material as the rest of his suit. They are razor sharp and can easily cut through steel. What material is this? Like, no one ever says the specifics for Rhino. Always a professional. While the Rhino truly hates Spider-Man, he never allows himself to be distracted from completing a mission, since he hates to forfeit a fee. Ah, right. Yeah. The Rhino is also professional enough to realize his own limitations, and he has often sought to ally himself with other powerful foes, including Hydra Man, Speed Demon, and the Leader. The Leader? Really? I would never think of Rhino to pair himself up with the Leader. And if you don't know who the Leader is, let me bring up just a quick summary. If I can find it. Should be in here. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Leader is a gamma radiated, like, super intelligent being. Like, he's one of Hulk's enemies. But yeah, he's a green dude with a big head. Very smart, very egotistical, and very gamma irradiated. So I wouldn't think Rhino would be someone to pair himself up with Leader. I don't know, it just seems weird to me, personally. Trying to make it so I can see YouTube chat easier. But I'm also trying to make sure that I can see Twitch chat as well. Okay, I think that's good. There we go. Okay, that's better. Looks can be deceptive. During their first encounter, Spider-Man was surprised when he discovered that the Rhino was a lot faster than he looked. I mean, yeah, he does look like a big, slow, tanky guy, but apparently he can run up to 100 miles per hour, which... Hang on, what does that convert to? Per hour, 2 kilometers per hour. That's 160 kilometers per hour. Almost 161. That's crazy fast. Exposed. With the aid of Dr. Curtis Connors, Spider-Man was once devised a special version of his web fluid which contained acid pellets. This unique webbing melted the Rhino's protective costume and made him more vulnerable to attack. Sheesh. If the video game is any indication, yeah, he can run fast and wreck fast. Yeah, like he's not slow by any means. I mean, he may be slow in the head, but he's not like slow in speed. Like, that's kind of what rhinos are known for, running really fast. Actually, how fast do rhinos run? Rhino run speed. 31 miles per hour. That's not incredibly slow. But they're, like, known for, like, ramming into things and taking things down, like, really fast because they're like stupidly strong. And they also have that big pointy horn. And that's the Rhino in the Ultimate Guide. Now, how does the encyclopedia differ? Because this shouldn't be as in-depth as it's a bigger book with more entries, so they have to make the entries smaller. Should be in the R section. Rhino. No, that's still S. Red Guardian, Red Hulk. Where's Rhino? Here we go. Oh, yeah, that's super short. Okay. Rhino, a career criminal in the Russian mafia. The man would become the Rhino, was selected for experiments by a group of spies because of his low intelligence. Pretty much the same as the other book. After months of chemical and radiation treatments, he was given his protective suit, which resembled a rhinoceros hide. He was sent to America under the identity of Alex O'Hearn to abduct the astronaut John Jameson, but was foiled by Spider-Man. That's a pretty good summarization of what we just read. The Rhino subsequently used his strength in a number of criminal endeavors. Believing himself to be trapped permanently within the costume, the Rhino was subject to bouts of insanity. But he eventually gave himself up to S.H.I.E.L.D., who were able to remove the suit from him. Released on parole, he fell in love with a waitress and got married. The new Rhino tried to destroy him, but killed the Rhino's wife instead. Alexei donned his old suit and killed the newcomer, joining a new Sinister Six. The Rhino seemingly drowned Silver Sable, apparently dying himself in the process. Oh. By the way, his real name is Alexei Sitsevic. I'll type it out in chat. This is really specific spelling. Russian's a little rusty. A little. I don't speak Russian, so I wouldn't know. As I am not Russian. Well, I don't live, I do not live, nor have I ever lived in Russia, rather. I might have Russian blood, like on one specific side of the family, but it's complicated. It's spelled like that. But yeah, Russian. And yeah, that was a super short entry. I didn't know there was a second Rhino, though. It must have been like a super short time. Yeah, that's Rhino. Like, there's not a whole lot that we got from that, but like, from what we got, he's not smart. But he's like very powerful and very fast. Not like flash fast, but like pretty fast in terms of running speed. Because, hey, Rhino. Alright, who's up next? The Sandman. Alright, I actually like Sandman quite a bit. He's a cool character. In terms of his powers and stuff. Like being able to materialize yourself into sand. Into living sand. And then form all kinds of things like, I don't know, a giant fist. I know, pretty cool. Oh man, he's way deep into the book. Oh, maybe I should have included that. Nah, no, that's fine. Okay, where's Sandman? Oh, that's not Sandman. That's a different character. Wait, where's Sandman in this book? Trying to find Sandman. Oh, here we go. Must have skipped right past him. The Sandman. Possessing the ability to convert all or part of his body into sand, the Sandman can mold himself into any continuous shape he desires. He can slither across the ground like a huge sand snake, or take on the form of an army tank. A little rhyming, not like perfect rhyming, but hey. The Sandman's mental control over his body is so precise that he can even assume multiple configurations at the same time. His fists can become hammers while his head transforms itself into a rock-hard battering ram. He can disguise himself as a simple mound of sand or slip beneath the door frame as a moving sand stream. He can also fire his sand particles at high speed so they strike like a shower of hailstones. Oh, sheesh. The Sandman is actually a career criminal whose real name is William Baker. That's weird that it isn't Flint Marko, like in the movie. Not such sweet dreams. unwittingly caught by the blast of a nuclear test blast at the military base, Marco was exposed to high levels of radiation. After the explosion, he discovered that the molecules in his body had somehow become inextricably bonded with the radioactive sand. Baker discovered that his body had taken on the properties of sand. He had become the Sandman. I don't know why they switched between his two different names. Anyway, it's Flint Marco. Baker learned that to steal almost before he could walk. Oh, jeez. He cheated his way through school, and things didn't come together for him until he reached high school and discovered football. Football! He played with his brutal intensity and excelled at the sport. However, when Baker started taking money from local gamblers to throw important games, his coach realized he was cheating, and Baker was thrown off the team and expelled from school. He found steady work with a local mobster, but since he didn't want his mother to learn about his criminal identities, he called himself Flint Marco. So it's like it's a stage name, kind of like, well, yeah, I guess it would be a stage name before he became Sandman. Marco was eventually arrested and imprisoned, but he somehow managed to escape. Hunted by the police, he headed south where he discovered a seemingly deserted military testing site and figured he could hide there. However, Marco didn't realize the site had been deliberately abandoned so the military could test a new nuclear weapon. Oh, I guess the Not Such Sweet Dreams section comes after that. That's weird because it's like the upper left side. So yeah, at that point he became Sandman. A Sandman of many talents. Thinking that Baker was just an ordinary criminal, Sandman was greatly surprised by the stunts the Sandman... Oh, wait, what? Thinking that Baker was an ordinary criminal, Spider-Man was greatly surprised by the stunts that the Sandman could pull when the two first met. Slipping easily out of Spidey's grasp, he turned his jaw rock hard to deflect the wall crawler's punch and was able to pin the Spider-Man to the floor under a torrent of sand. But Spidey had the last laugh. He tricked Sandman into dispersing himself and then sucked up the grains of sand in an industrial vacuum cleaner. Oh my god. That is hilarious. Here's mud in your eye. During a battle with Hydro Man, yes, a man who can turn himself into water, Sandman somehow became merged with his watery counterpart to form a giant mud-like monster. Spider-Man defeated this mud monster, and the two criminals were thought to be dead until the mud separated months later. The Sandman was so traumatized by the experience that he gave up his life of crime. Mind over sand. The Sandman had always managed to reassemble himself, even when parts of him had become scattered. He can draw up regular sand to make himself bigger, or to replace sand that had been lost in battle. The Sandman's mind continues to be in control of his body at all times, even when his head has been turned into sand or scattered by an enemy's fist. There's actually a really cool thing where, like, Sandman's whole, like, essence of being is actually one specific particle of sand. And apparently, if you are able to trap that one particle of sand, like, that's it. Like, that's his whole entire being, which I find hilarious. Because you can just put that one thing in, like, a jar or a bottle or something. Just keep it separated from the rest of his body, and then he's useless. I find that hilarious. Like, that's funny, man. And apparently he did that a few times. Spider-Man did that a few times, too. In a few different media, I think. Here's mud in your eye. During a battle with... Oh, wait, no, I already read that. Got distracted and lost my place, apparently. Fond farewell. After turning his back on crime, the Sandman took a job with Silver Sable and worked alongside Spider-Man as a team. Oh, that's fun. Then, when Spider-Man was poisoned by a bite from Venom... Okay. He blamed Spider-Man for what happened and turned on the wall crawler. But his body fell apart. The Sandman repented and gave Spider-Man a final message to deliver to his mother. I'm pretty sure Sandman is back at some point. I don't know when. But, like... I don't think I would complain too much if that was the actual end of Sandman, but I'm pretty sure that's not. Sandman, Spider-Man. Let's look at the wiki. William Baker. So yeah, it's interesting that Sandman was apparently, like, working with Spider-Man for a short time. Because, like, I don't think I've seen any other media other than the comics, like, do that in any way. Because, like, Sandman is always, like, just villain. Just criminal. Does the wiki ever say anything about him being... Does the wiki ever mention any of this Venom stuff? Huh. Interesting. Interesting. So the wiki does go into further detail about that. But it says something a little different than the book does, it looks like. Just skimming it a little bit. Interesting. Now for the encyclopedia, which shouldn't be that long, comparatively. Let's go to S. Skip ahead to S. A. Here we go. Oh, they actually have a full page for Sandman. Surprise, surprise. Oh, God. Where was that? Oh, that's Scorpion. Okay. Actually, did I? I don't think I have a... I don't think I'm doing Scorpion. If I'm foregoing anyone, I think I would be okay with Scorpion. Anyways. Sandman, a villain who slips through Spidey's fingers. Real name, William Baker, not Flint Marko. That's apparently a stage name, I guess, if you would equate it to anything. With the ability to change his body into grains of sand and reshape it at will, Spider-Man has proven to be a dangerous and slippery foe for Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four, and the Hulk. I didn't know Sandman fought the Hulk. Dang. That's cool. Born William Baker in one of the rougher areas of New York City, he had a bad start in life. His father abandoned him and his mother when William was just 3 years old. And the boy grew up in poverty. He quickly learned how to steal and cheat. William was kicked out of high school for taking money to throw a big football game, but was soon found work with the protection racket. He took the alias Flint Marko and became a success in New York's crime underworld. After an arrest and a jailbreak, Marko headed south. He was on a beach near a military testing site in Georgia when a nuclear reactor's steam system exploded, knocking him unconscious. Marko woke to find that his body now had the properties of sand. Reveling in his new ability, he called himself Sandman and set out on a major criminal career. Sandman battled Spider-Man, his main nemesis, and many other superheroes. He joined the Wizard, Trapster, and Medusa to form the Frightful Four, and teamed up with 5 more of Spider-Man's foes to form the Sinister Six. Essential storylines. Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1. Sandman, Vulture, Mysterio, Electro, Kraven the Hunter, and Dr. Octopus get together to form the Sinister Six. Spider-Man teams up with Hydra Man. This is Amazing Spider-Man number 217 and 218. Spider-Man teams up with Hydra Man, but a freak accident merges the two villains into a mud creature. Yeah, that does not sound like fun. Just saying, like, it's already bad enough that he's just this living sand monster. Like, he can take on a human-like form, but, like, he's still the Sandman. But, like, after that, like, merging with another dude that has the properties of water. Like, how do you even live with being two people at once in the same body that is, like, you used to be two separate people, but, like, you're merged into one monster being? How do you even cope with that? Sandman can alter his body at, all of his body at once, or just selective parts, as in this example of his right arm changing while the rest of his body remains in his human-looking form. There's a picture of him with a giant hammer with spikes for an arm. When he hardens the sand particles that make up his body into solid block, Sandman packs incredible power, an incredibly powerful punch. Good or evil? When Sandman teamed up with Hydra Man, an accident caused the two to merge into a mud creature. After he was freed, Sandman gave up crime, becoming a probationary member of the Avengers. Really? Okay. The Wizard brainwashed him into becoming a criminal again, thinking he had been faking his turn to good, and he rejoined the Sinister Six. Venom destroyed Sandman, but he reconstructed himself and later discovered he could create duplicates of himself with distinct personalities. Oh. Some of these duplicates murdered the mother of his daughter, Cremia, without his knowledge. The superior Spider-Man, Dr. Octopus, later stole him from where the Fantastic Four had imprisoned him and stored him in an underwater lab. Oh, fun. When Sandman and Hydra Man became combined, they became the Mud Thing. This new creature proved to be a big attraction. Oh, fun. I guess they coped somehow together as one unit. Like, literally one unit. One being. Okay. And, that's Sandman. So, like, he lied and cheated and stole and became a Sandman as a result. So that's fun. Not that he really complains, I guess, but, like... It's sad that he was mind-controlled when he was trying to reform. Become somewhat good, but, like... comics. What are you gonna do? Alright, next up. Who's up after Sandman? Venom! Okay. Now, this one I'll actually have to consult the website because my childhood copy of this book does not actually have Sandman anymore because it was accidentally ripped out at some point and I don't know where the page went. But it is 2 pages. Alright, so, let's take a look. Oops. Venom. Venom is actually 2 separate beings. Eddie Brock and the alien symbiote that once masqueraded as Venom's costume. Spider-Man's costume. Both of them have their own reasons to hate Spider-Man. A chance meeting allowed Eddie to and the alien to join together and become the most vicious mass of mayhem that Spider-Man has ever faced. Venom possesses all of the powers of both Spider-Man and the alien symbiote. He is also far stronger than Spider-Man, and he can use the alien symbiote to disguise himself to look like anything he can imagine. Bonded in hate. Eddie Brock was once the respectable reporter who worked for the New York Globe, a rival of the Daily Bugle. For a while, he was a media star, following his expose of a man who had confessed to being a serial killer called the Sin Eater. However, Spider-Man caught the real Sin Eater. The man Eddie Brock turned in was a compulsive confessor. Oh. So he just confessed to any crimes that are thrown at him? Oh, okay. As a result, Eddie was fired from his job and his wife left him. Sheesh! Like, fired from the job is bad enough, but your wife leaving you over that? Sheesh. Holy. With his career and personal life shattered, Eddie blamed Spider-Man for his loss. He wandered from church to church, praying for forgiveness for the hatred of Spider-Man, for his hatred of Spider-Man. At Our Lady Saints Church, Eddie's fierce emotions somehow awakened the dormant alien symbiote that had been remained in the church after its final encounter with Spider-Man. I might actually go over that in a little bit. It is 2 pages. Put a bookmark in there, just in case. Awakened the dormant symbiote in the church after its final encounter with Spider-Man. The symbiote flowed over Eddie, and they joined to become Venom. We are Venom. Oh, sheesh. Strong man. Eddie Brock could lift almost 700 pounds before he's bonded with the alien symbiote, and he became nearly 40 times stronger after they merged. Sheesh. Since the alien symbiote was psychically linked to Peter Parker, the Venom knows all of Spider-Man's most intimate secrets. Yeah. With his vastly superior strength and the symbiote's additional powers, Venom always had an advantage when it came to battling Spider-Man. And he could also stalk Spidey without triggering the wall crawler's spider sense. Ooh, that's not cool. Venom victorious. Determined to destroy Spider-Man, Venom lured the wall crawler to a South Sea island for a final battle. Here, Spidey conceived a bold plan and managed to fake his own death. Convinced that his arch-enemy was no more, Eddie saw no reason to continue being Venom. He and the symbiote decided to remain on the island and live in peace. Oh, that's, interesting. Exposed. Oh, wait. Yeah, exposed. After his battle on the South Sea Island, Peter believed that he had finally seen the last of Venom. But this was not to be. When a serial killer called Carnage revealed that he had been created by merging with the remnants of the alien symbiote, Peter was forced to seek Venom's help against his this new super menace. Cool. Sinister Six. Returning to his criminal ways, Venom recently joined the latest incarnation of the Sinister Six, and he later helped the team track down Spider-Man. In the ensuing fight, the Sandman insulted him, and Venom took a bite out of the Sand Monster. This action caused Sandman to lose his ability to hold himself together and may have resulted in his death. Apparently not, since he's still around, in some form or another. Lethal Protector. Eddie has always considered himself to be a defender of the weak and helpless. In his warped mind, he has always believed that he is the hero and Spider-Man is the monster. After promising to spare the wall crawler's loved ones in exchange for his freedom, Venom temporarily moved to San Francisco. Here he became the city's lethal protector, dispensing his own brand of justice to help those who he deemed innocent and to punish those he judged guilty. As seen in this picture of Venom holding a baby. Uneasy allies. As with their battle against the serial killer Carnage, Spider-Man and Venom have sometimes been compelled to put their differences aside and join forces against a common foe. However, since neither party trusts the other, these alliances have always been shaky and have often ended in betrayal. Yeah. Like, I think it's really interesting how sometimes they will team up and they will have a bond with each other. Like, honestly, I've always seen their relationship as akin to, like, Goku and Vegeta, because Goku and Vegeta are always, originally they were, like, the antithesis of each other and were, like, always, like, very, very, I don't know, they're just, like, originally they were, like, mortal nemesis, but nowadays they do work together, like, in some way, and they are, like, they have similar powers. Not exactly the same, but similar. Actually, When did Venom come out? Like the 80s? The 70s? Yeah, it would be the 80s. So both Venom and Vegeta would have come around around the same-ish time. Actually, I guess it would be more like Sonic and Shadow. Yeah, that would actually be a better equivalent, I think. Yeah, that actually fits better. Yeah, that was Venom. Should I go after the alien costume? Because, like, this is 2 more pages, but, like, it's not a lot of text. Okay, I'll go over it. Actually, I wonder, can I just click this quick? All right, cool. This'll work out way better, actually. Here we go. All right, we're going over the alien costume quick. So what is the alien costume? Into battle. Spider-Man found himself on a satellite in a galaxy far from Earth, along with the other superheroes such as Captain America, the supervillains, including Doctor Doom. Spidey was brought to the satellite by a near-omnipotent being known as the Beyonder. The Beyonder wanted heroes and villains to fight in a war on a planet called Battle World. Spider-Man fought many battles, and his costume was left in tatters. Then he found a machine that could replace ruined clothing. Moving on up. Spider-Man triggered the clothing machine, and a round black object sprang from it. It immediately started to spread up Spidey's arm and didn't stop until it covered his entire body. Know it all. The alien costume always seemed to know what Peter wanted, sometimes even before he did. Homecoming. After defeating the villains and escaping the Beyonder, the heroes returned to Earth and Spider-Man took his alien costume with him. He learned that his new supersuit was capable of generating a seemingly endless supply of webbing and that it could also change its appearance as well. Yeah, in the classic comics, Spider-Man running out of webbing was definitely a common thing that happened every once in a while. So, like, having this organic webbing in the costume was very convenient. Now this, like, I'm fine with this organic webbing because, like, this came after he already developed his web shooters, so he actually had, like, a chance to show off his ingenuity and stuff. And also, I just think that the symbiote is... I've always thought the symbiote was really, really, really cool. And it... Full disclosure, symbiote was actually somewhat of an inspiration for some of my VTuber stuff. Some of it, not all of it. Just saying. Where was I? Oh, I was here. When you wish upon a suit. Peter and his alien costume were always in some kind of psychic contact, even when physically separated. If the costume was in a different room, it came at Peter's mental summons. Cool. Night Terrors. Each night while Peter slept, the alien costume secretly slipped over him and took the unconscious Spider-Man wall crawling at night. The web swinger awoke each morning with no memory of his nocturnal adventures. All he knew was that he felt more exhausted than before he had gone to bed. Yeah, that's more of what... more of the negative than anything else in the classic comics. Like, more of the negative of the suit. Friend in need. As Peter's fatigue continued to grow, he slept through the entire day and began to have terrible nightmares. So Spider-Man went to Reed Richards, alias Mr. Fantastic of the Fantastic Four, for help. It's alive. After an exhaustive series of tests, Mr. Fantastic made a startling pronouncement. Instead of an amazing suit composed of some unknown extraterrestrial fabric, Spidey's new costume was actually a living creature. It was a sentient symbiote who had formed a mental and physical bond with the web swinger. Sneak attack. As soon as the symbiote's secret was revealed, it attempted to permanently graft itself to Spider-Man's body. Spider-Man did all he could to escape from the costume, but the symbiote tightened its grip on him, almost crushing Spidey in the process. Oh, sheesh. Luckily, Reed Richards had discovered that the symbiote was vulnerable to certain sound frequencies. Using these sound waves, Richards managed to separate Spidey from the costume. At last, our hero was free and the alien was imprisoned, risking death. Oh wait, no, hang on. Jumping ahead. Later, the symbiote escaped from the laboratory and pounced on the unsuspecting Spider-Man. In desperation, Spider-Man lured the alien to the bell tower of Our Lady of Saints Church. He knew that the sound of the bells could free him from the symbiote. The alien, knowing that only one of them could survive the ordeal, sacrificed itself to save Peter. Oh, sheesh. So it did have some kind of, like, attraction to Peter. Like, it definitely didn't hate him at the start or at the end of their bonding. But, like, it definitely had problems. Like, the fact that it was constantly taking Peter out during the night. When, yeah, no, that's not cool. Maybe if they actually had, like, a proper, like, I don't know, heart-to-heart or something, they could have worked out their differences. Maybe. I don't know, I think that could have... Actually, hang on, they might have actually done that in a comic. Maybe. Risking death. Peter didn't care that the bells could kill him. He just wanted to be free from the symbiote. Man, that... What if... what if you just have an actual heart-to-heart instead of being like, hey, get off my body! I know we spent a lot of time together, but I realize you're alive, and I don't want a live being on me. Like, I don't know, maybe, since it's alive, maybe you can reason with it. Maybe, Peter? Like, I feel like they could have. Maybe. Anyways. Onto the book. We're going to Venom. That was all about the symbiote costume itself and not specifically Eddie Brock as Venom. But now we're back to Venom. Which is 1 page. Which is a lot less than the other book was giving. While Spider-Man was on the Beyonders battle world, he acquired a black costume, which turned out to be an alien being that bonded itself to him. Spider-Man rejected this alien symbiote, which then latched onto ex-Daily Globe columnist Eddie Brock, turning him into Venom. The original Venom. A disgraced ex-reporter, Brock, blamed Spider-Man for ruining his career by revealing Brock's error in identifying the wrong man as the Sin Eater. Stricken with cancer, he was about to kill himself when the symbiote bonded with him and put the disease into remission. Oh, sheesh. I mean, good for Eddie. Hooray. Yay. Getting rid of cancer and getting superpowers. Neat. Angry at Spider-Man for spurning it, the symbiote put... wait, what? Angry at Spider-Man for spurning it, the symbiote urged Brock to take his revenge on Spider-Man, and the bonded pair set out to do just that. Armed with the knowledge of Spider-Man's secret identity and being hidden from Spider-Man's spider sense, Brock became one of his most dangerous foes. At times, however, the two declared a truce. And during such periods, Brock sometimes worked as an anti-hero, killing those who would threaten innocence. I mean, the whole killing people thing isn't great, but like, good on him for saving people sometimes? Maybe? Venom saw himself as a protector of the innocent. However, he had few qualms about killing criminals. Yeah. Essential storylines. The Amazing Spider-Man number 299 to 300, the first appearance of Eddie Brock as Venom. Marvel Knights Spider-Man numbers 7 to 8. Brock auctions off the Venom symbiote to Angelo Fortuno for $100 million. Oh, fun. All right, let's go to the next section, which is multiplying machines. The Venom symbiote had reproduced a number of times. Its children finding hosts of their own. This included Scream, Carnage, and his spawn Toxin, plus Riot Phage, Lasher, and Agony, who later combined to form Hybrid. Fun. When Brock's cancer returned... Oh, well, that sucks. The symbiote wanted to leave him. Brock auctioned the creature for $100 million to gang lord Don Fortunato, who gave the suit to his son Angelo. Disgusted by Angelo's cowardice, the suit abandoned him to... Oh. The suit abandoned him mid-air to die. So he just went splat. Sheesh. New hosts. The symbiote offered itself to Mac Gargan, the Scorpion, who eagerly accepted the creature's incredible powers. The new Venom was more monstrous than ever, devouring some of his victims. Fun. Gargan fought Spider-Man and then joined the Thunderbolts during the Civil War. Subsequently, the symbiote tried to reclaim his old host, Brock. Instead, Brock turned into Anti-Venom and nearly killed Gargan. Gargan recovered and fought the Skrulls during the Secret Invasion. Afterwards, he joined Norman Osborn's, Green Goblin's, New Avengers, posing as Spider-Man. When the Dark Reign ended, the U.S. government removed the symbiote from Gargan and gave it to Spider-Man's biggest fan, Flash Thompson. For him to work as a secret operative, Flash was only allowed to wear the suit for a maximum of 48 hours at a time to prevent permanent bonding. And that was the introduction of Agent Venom. I want to read some comics about Agent Venom. I have read some things here and there about Agent Venom. They're really cool, and I would like to go over that storyline at some point, just personally myself. Because that seems like very neat stuff. Alright, that concludes Venom. We're only at 4? Sheesh. Alright. Home stretch. Doc Ock. This is not going to be short. This is really not going to be short. Because there's a lot of extensive stuff about Doc Ock, I feel, because he is one of Spider-Man's biggest foes. Because as in, like, most prominent. That is the wrong page. Nope. Nope, nope, no. We already went over you. Here we go. Dr. Octopus. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of words in this. What am I doing? Hang on. No, 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 no. Over here? Further this way still. No. I skipped past. Oh, here we go. Dr. Octopus. As a young boy, Otto Octavius was a shy and sensitive bookworm. A hardworking student, he didn't seem the type to grow up and become one of the world's most dangerous men. Otto's mother, Mary Lavinia, yeah, Octavius, had high hopes for her son and didn't want Otto to become a manual laborer like his father. To please her, Otto became a scientist, specializing in the field of nuclear research. His mother was thrilled when Otto graduated from college because since it meant that he would never have to dirty his hands like a common working man. Little prejudice, but okay. Otto threw himself into his career, often working 24 hours a day. He eventually became one of the nation's leading scientists. Arms and the Man. As his fame grew, Otto became arrogant, condescending, and self-absorbed. He invented a special mechanical harness that allowed him to perform dangerous experiments at a distance and also discouraged his co-workers from getting too close. However, during a freak laboratory accident, Otto Octavius was somehow physically and mentally bonded with his mechanical arms. He had been turned into Dr. Octopus. Since then, he has fought superheroes such as Daredevil and the Fantastic Four. But Otto Octavius is particularly obsessed with destroying Spider-Man, and he believes that he will never know peace until he kills the web slinger. Okay. Throughout his childhood, Otto was sheltered and pampered by his mother. However, his father, Torbert, the heck kind of a name is Torbert? Torbert Octavius was frustrated by the boy's inability to stand up for himself. Driven to distraction. During an argument with her son, Mary Lavinia, Octavius died of a heart attack. Oh, great. Otto was racked with guilt and stumbled through the following weeks as if in a daze. It was in this distracted state that he caused an accident at the Atomic Research Center where he worked. Caught in the resulting explosion, his body was exposed to radiation, which transformed into Dr. Octopus. Oh, that's why. He was just distracted. Mental control. After his accident, Dr. Octopus was misdiagnosed with brain damage. In reality, his brain was creating a new neural pathways so that he could mentally control his arms. Oh. My enemy, my step-uncle. While hiding out from the police, Otto rented a room from May Parker, who never realized that he was an escaped criminal. Oh. He was forced to leave, however, after a battle with Spider-Man. Later, Otto learned that May was due to receive a large inheritance, namely one of the world's most sophisticated nuclear breeding reactors. Oh, fun. With this, Otto could produce his own nuclear arsenal. Cool. In order to get his hands on the reactor, Octopus, just refer to him as Octopus, okay. Just could be considering him Doc Ock or Ock, or no, just calling him Octopus, okay. Octopus asked May to marry him. Man and machine. So strong is the bond with his tentacles that Dr. Octopus can control them even when they have been separated from his body. Oh, cool. As if it wasn't just dangerous enough with them attached to his body. The female Ock. Carolyn Trainer is a brilliant scientist who specializes in the study of virtual reality. She is also a big fan of Otto Octavius and was outraged when Dr. Octopus was first jailed like a common criminal. For a brief time, she even filled in for him when he was incapacitated, adapting his tentacles for her own use. Carolyn voluntarily returned the tentacles as soon as the real Doc Ock was ready to renew his criminal career. Kid Ock. Ollie Osnick also admired Doc Ock. He built his own set of mechanical arms and tried to team up with his hero against Spider-Man. But when he was nearly killed by Dr. Octopus, Ollie modified his tentacles and began to imitate Spider-Man instead. Oh, that's fun. And that's Doc Ock. All right. Now for the encyclopedia. Would that be under D or would that be under O? Probably under D. Here we go. Mastermind of Mechanical Menace. Otto was the son of Torbert and Mary Why can I never say this name? Lavinia Octavius. Shy bookworm, but his father was a construction worker, believed that a man was measured by his brute strength. Mary wanted Otto to rely on his brains. When his father was killed in a construction accident, she convinced herself that an early grave was the destiny of all manual laborers. Arm's length. Otto became a scientist specializing in nuclear research and invented a mechanical harness that allowed him to perform dangerous experiments at a distance. He also began dating Mary Alice Anders, a fellow researcher, and even asked her to marry him. Believing that no woman was good enough for her son, Otto's mother forced him to break off the engagement. Shortly afterwards, she died of a heart attack while arguing with her son over Mary Alice. Oh. So that's why? Really? Man, this woman? Doc Ock's mom, I guess? Bit of a snob. Just a bit. Lost in a private world of grief and guilt, Otto caused a laboratory accident. He was bombarded with radiation and his own mechanical arms somehow fused with his body. Mind control. He was able to mentally control his metal tentacles even when separated from him. Otto became Dr. Octopus and battled Spider-Man and other foes, both alone and as part of the Sinister Six. Over the years, his body deteriorated to the point of his impending demise. Desperate, Octopus was... Really? This one's just referring to him as Octopus, too, instead of, like, Doc Ock or Otto or whatever. Desperate, Octopus managed to swap his mind with that of Peter Parker, Spider-Man, before his health failed, seemingly killing his enemy and taking over his body to become the superior Spider-Man. With his new lease on life, he gave up his villainy and struggled to become a better hero than Peter ever managed. Yeah, it stops there because that's freaking... Like, this book must have come in right in the middle of the Superior Spider-Man story. Because that lasted quite a few years, didn't it? I'm gonna look this up. Superior Spider-Man. Trying to find when this started and when this ended. Wait, this only lasted from 2013 to 2014? But this book came out in 2016. Why doesn't it mention any of the resolution? Weird. Okay. Fine. In any case, that's Doc Ock. Mysterio! Let's go. Alright. I actually really like Mysterio. He has cool illusion stuff that I really like. Alright, oops. Mysterio. Quentin Beck dreamed of making movies ever since he was a child. Armed with a battered old movie camera, Quentin built monsters out of clay, starring them in little stop-action films that each lasted a couple of minutes. While still a teenager, Quentin got a job on a low-budget monster thriller. He moved to Hollywood on the money he made and started to look for work as a stuntman and special effects designer. Though his career proved fairly successful, Quentin wanted more. He grew tired of working behind the scenes and sought the spotlight as an actor and director. But he didn't have the looks or talent to make it as a star, and he was much too temperamental to be at the helm of a production studio. A casual comment made by a friend made him realize that he could attain a different kind of fame by using his talent with special effects to become a superhero, and so Mysterio was born. Since the Daily Bugle had declared Spider-Man a menace, Mysterio knew that the paper would give him lots of publicity if he could capture Spidey. There was only one problem. Spider-Man hadn't broken the law. So Mysterio disguised himself as the wall crawler and convinced the public that Spidey was on a crime spree. Mysterio was challenged by the Webhead to meet him, and the two fought to a draw. But the web slinger suspected that Mysterio was behind the crime spree, so he followed and defeated him. With his dreams of being a superhero ruined by Spider-Man. Mysterio now uses his skills to gain revenge against the wall crawler, when he really could just be a superhero in his own right instead of being like, "No, you foiled my plans to frame you from for villainy that you didn't create, and I wanted to capture you because I want fame." Silly, silly Mysterio. Gadgets and gizmos aplenty. Mysterio isn't your average criminal. He is a special effects artist and uses who loves his craft and takes it very seriously. Sorry, just gonna zoom in and here we go. His costume is a testament to that, and is full of gadgets to help him on his crime sprees. These include a helmet made of his from his two-way glass to disguise his appearance. He also wears special boots that release his chemical smoke with springs in the heels to enable him to make his huge leaps. Smoke and mirrors. Mysterio's trademark is a trail of smoke released from the nozzles hidden within his boots and gloves. Aside from making him appear more mysterious, it can also be mixed with various toxins, acids, and hallucinogens to disorient, distract, or even defeat his opponents. He can even mix in his own powerful chemicals, which can dissolve Spidey's webbings. Mysterio doesn't need superpowers. He's got gadgets for everything. He's even got his own form of spider sense, courtesy of a sonar device which allows him, helps him to see, quote unquote, through his own smoky cloud. The face of the villain. Lacking the handsome features of a conventional movie star, Mysterio has assumed a number of other identities during the course of his career. He is a master of makeup and disguise who has He is a master of makeup and disguise who has pretended to be an alien, a psychiatrist, a movie producer, and the director of a nursing home. Okay, so the whole Mysterio is an alien thing that the second movie game did, that didn't come from nowhere. That was in the comics, apparently. And that's it for Mysterio in the Spider-Man book. So, where's Mysterio in this? MY. Do. Here's Mysterio. Oh, wow, that's a short blurb for Mysterio. What the heck? Okay. Guess Quentin Beck isn't really that notable nowadays, is he? Quentin Beck was a leading special effects designer in Hollywood, but hungry for fame, he became the villain Mysterio. Using illusions to confound Spider-Man, Mysterio became one of his greatest foes, both on his own and as part of the Sinister Six. Mysterio once devised an elaborate scheme to drive Daredevil insane. When it failed, Beck faked his own death. His old apprentice, Daniel Burkhart, took up his helmet. Francis Klum Francis Clum also acquired Mysterio's costume from the Kingpin, but was killed. By who? A new Mysterio appeared to take on the new Spider-Man, Dr. Octopus, Superior Spider-Man. And that's it. Powers: a genius with special effects and stage illusions. Beck was also a master hypnotist, and Clum can teleport and can control other people's bodies. Oh, fun! Alright, and that's the whole thing on Mysterio. Very short blurb in the encyclopedia. Very short. So yeah, Mysterio, he's just full of tricks and illusions. Which makes him fun to be a foe of Spider-Man. Like, Spider-Man has to use his own spider sense to get through the illusions. I think that's really cool. The thing... I really like Far From Home because it challenges all of Peter's spider senses and stuff. It's like all of the illusion scenes in that movie are just really cool, especially the one with the one that's just a whole nightmare sequence. Like that's such a freaking good and powerful scene. I really like that scene. It's really good. Because it's just really chilling. I really like it. It's really good. I love it, actually. Just really good stuff. And that's Mysterio. Who's up next? Other than Kraven the Hunter. Alright. Give it up for Kraven. Kraven for more. Actually heard about him a little bit today from actually, what page was that from? That was on the in the Spider-Man section, was it not? Yeah, it was. Okay, cool. Kraven the Hunter. Let's zoom in a bit so I can read some of this text easier. Sergei Kravenov was born into a family of Russian aristocrats. Forced into exile during the Russian Revolution, Sergei's parents eventually settled in the United Kingdom. But their life was hard as their finances began to dwindle. Sergei's mother fell into a terrible depression. She committed Sudoku. Let's just leave it at that. While Sergei was a young child. Fun stuff. Within a year, his father married a former servant girl, and the young Sergei became furious when he learned that his stepmother was pregnant. He accused his father of betraying his mother's memory, and made the life of his half-brother Dmitri miserable. Hating his family situation, Sergei ran away. He traveled throughout Europe, Asia, and Africa, stowing away on cargo ships and trains, and using his wit and cunning to survive. Eventually, he found work on a safari, where he discovered he had a natural talent for hunting. Oh, right. I keep forgetting that there was a Kraven the Hunter movie. I don't like that. I don't like that that exists. Like, I don't like any of those Sony not Spider-Man movies. Like, they're just dumb. Just dumb. International celebrity. Over the years, Sergei sharpened his hunting skills, and his fame began to spread. Wait, hang on. Did that movie even come out? Hang on. The Kraven the Hunter. Release date. Oh god, that came out in December of 2024. That's not a good sign that I didn't even know that it was out. Oh god. International celebrity. Over the years, Sergei sharpened his hunting skills, and his fame began to spread. A British journalist helped cement his legend by writing articles of the hunter. Not knowing the correct spelling of Sergei's last name, the journalist shortened it to Craven. During his time in the jungle, Craven stumbled upon a witch doctor who... Really? A witch doctor who had created a potion that somehow augmented the hunter's strength and speed. Okay. Now Craven could track and kill jungle animals with ease, and he soon became desperate to find a challenge worthy of his skills. Craven was then contacted by his half-brother, Dmitri, who had assumed a new name, the Chameleon. I find it really interesting that Craven and the Chameleon are, like, half-brothers. Like, that's interesting. I don't know. He wanted Craven's help to fight Spider-Man. The first hunt. The first meeting between Spider-Man and Craven did not start off well for the wall crawler. Surprised by Craven's speed, Spider-Man had his shoulder numbed by a devastating punch. But with only one arm working properly, Spidey was still able to defeat Craven. From that day, Craven swore to defeat Spider-Man and complete the hunt. Interesting. The last hunt. Realizing that the best way to beat the spider was to become him, Craven began his final hunt. He managed to subdue the web swinger, burying him alive, and then began to impersonate him. In doing so, Craven was able to bury some of his own personal demons. Believing that he had now faced all of life's challenges, Craven committed Sudoku. Fun. Since then, Craven's son, Alyosha, has taken on his father's place as the lion-skin-clad hunter. Okay. Not a happy story or a happy family. Great. Heh. Fun times. Oh, by the way, sometimes Craven is part of the Sinister Six. Along with Sandman, Doc Ock, and Mysterio. One time, even Venom. Or a couple times. Who knows? Alright, let's try to find Craven in this big book. Craven, K. Oh, wait, what? Wait, what do I have marked here? This is Craven? Oh, that's that. Okay. Well, where the heck is Craven? Oh, here's Craven. Oh, the bookmark fell. Oh, that's what happened. Cool. All right, Craven. Real name, Sergei Kravinoff. Occupation, professional game hunter and mercenary. Powers, enhanced speed, strength, and agility. Expert tracker and skilled hand-to-hand fighter. After his Russian aristocratic parents died while he was a child, Sergei Kravinoff joined a crew of an African safari. learning to track and kill big game. A mystical serum augmented his strength and speed, and Kravenov became the world's greatest hunter. After anglicizing? I'm just gonna say anglicizing, sure. His name to Kraven, he took up, yeah? How'd I lose that quick? He took up a challenge from his half-brother, the Chameleon, to hunt the most dangerous game of all, Spider-Man. After numerous defeats, both on his own and as one of the Sinister Six, Kraven tranquilized Spider-Man and buried him alive. Kraven then assumed the hero's identity in a bid to prove himself the better crime fighter. In despair at his own failure, Kraven shot himself. Once again, fun. Kraven's son Vladimir briefly served as the Grim Hunter until Kane killed him. Oh, more killing. Cool. Meanwhile, Spider-Man's just swinging around in the background being like, I'm saving the city, la-di-da-di-da, and then all this killing is going on. And his son, Alyosha, became the second Kraven the Hunter. Kraven's younger daughter, Anna Tatiana, also took up the Kraven the Hunter mantle. His wife, Sasha, returned to rally the family and resurrect Kraven by sacrificing Spider-Man. Kane took Spider-Man's place, however, disturbing the ritual. Kraven later killed Sasha and also Vladimir, who'd returned as a half-lion. So Kraven's just resurrected as a lion man now, which, cool. And that's all the encyclopedia had on him. Again, short entry. So, I'm gonna look up what the wiki says about Kraven. Just quick. Because I'm curious if he's still alive as a Tiger Man. Do. Just skimming this. Like, if he had taken his own life like this and his family resurrected him like this, I think he would be pretty bitter about that. Kane disrupted it, took Spider-Man's place, corrupted the ritual, cursing Kraven to be unable to die unless it was by the hands of Spider-Man. Oh, joy. So he's just unliving forever. Or I guess undead. Yeah, he's just this undead lion monster now. Okay. So yeah, I guess he's alive now. Somehow. Somehow Kraven returned. Like, dang. Okay, that was a neat little diversion. But now we're on to, the final little bit. The Green Goblin. I thought it would be really fitting to end with Green Goblin. Because, like, how else would you end it? Like, I was thinking about starting with one of the villains and then ending with Spider-Man, but, like, no, this actually works better. Especially since Spider-Man had the longest section in the encyclopedia. Remove that. That bookmark. Remove that. Okay, so I have to go back a few pages. Got it. Boop, boop. There we go. The Green Goblin. All right. From the top, Norman Osborn was just a child when he became obsessed with acquiring wealth and power. His father was an inventor whose business failed, claiming that he had been swindled out of his inventions and personal fortune. Emerson Osborn took out his rage on his young son. Norman realized that he couldn't depend on his father for financial security, so he began working after school and saving every cent he earned. He wouldn't allow himself to become another failure like his father. Norman studied chemistry and electrical engineering in college. He also took on a number of courses in business administration. One of his teachers was Professor Mandel Strom. They became good friends and later formed a business partnership. Since Norman put up the bulk of the financing, they called their company Osborn Chemical. Trouble in the laboratory. Norman married his college sweetheart and they had a son, Harry. A few years later, unfortunately... they had their son, Harry, a few years later. Unfortunately, his wife became ill. After she died, Norman buried himself in his work and rarely had time for young Harry. Norman eventually learned that Strom had embezzled money from their company. He had his partner arrested and assumed complete control of the company. While going through Strom's notes, Norman learned of a chemical formula that could increase a person's strength and intelligence. Unaware that Harry had switched a few of his chemicals, Norman tried to recreate the experiment. The solution turned green and exploded. Oh, fun. Harry, why were you freaking in his lab playing with his chemicals? What the heck? Flying broomstick. The Green Goblin originally traveled on a flying broomstick, which he later discarded in favor of a goblin glider. Birth of the Goblin. After he was released from the hospital following the explosion, Norman realized that the formula had worked. He was now stronger and smarter than ever. He didn't know that the explosion had also driven him insane. Yeah, insanity is not great. He decided to increase his personal fortune by turning to crime. He hired and outfitted costumed supervillains such like the Scorcher and the Headsman. When these thieves were captured by Spider-Man, Norman decided to take matters into his own hands. He used his company's chemical discoveries to assemble a personal armory and designed a costume for himself. All he needed was the right face to represent to the world. He chose the face of the Green Goblin. The Goblin glider uses a compact turbine engine. The glider... Oh, God. I accidentally went to a different page. I can find it. Here we go. The glider employs a variety of concussive and incendiary grenades. Cool. The Goblin's boots lock into the glider's stirrups and are held in place by electromagnetism. That's good to know that he can't just fall off. From empire to obsession. The Green Goblin planned to become the world's the most powerful gang lord of all by uniting all of the independent gangs under his leadership. He wanted to establish reputation by killing Spider-Man, but every time the Goblin ambushed him, Spider-Man drove him away. With each new defeat, the Green Goblin became more determined. In time, Osborn became totally obsessed with Spider-Man and directed all of his efforts to finding a way to conquer the web-swinging enemy. Equals. Although Spider-Man was stronger and faster, the Green Goblin's deadly arsenal and his ruthless cunning made him more than a match for the wisecracking wall crawler. Properties. Since Norman Osborn seemed more interested in chemicals, than his son's welfare, Harry decided to teach his father a lesson by causing an explosive experiment. Oh, so that was on purpose that he... I mean, not on purpose that he wanted to blow up his dad, but like... on purpose, just switching his chemicals around. Oh. Harry! Why did you create Spider-Man's most deadly nemesis? Why did you do that? New lease on life. The Green Goblin learned Spider-Man's secret identity by exposing him to a gas that weakened his spider sense. However, Spidey knocked the Goblin into a mass of live electrical wires. The resulting shock gave Osborn amnesia, wiping all memory of the Green Goblin. Oh. Just electricity was enough. Got it. The Green Goblin's last stand. The Green Goblin wasn't finished yet. Norman's evil personality reemerged. He returned to his criminal ways and launched a new attack on Spider-Man. Spidey was at a real disadvantage this time. He now knew that the Green Goblin was his best friend's father, and that Norman couldn't help himself. However, the Green Goblin set up a series of events that resulted in the death of someone very close to Spider-Man. I know who that is. In the battle that followed, the Green Goblin was impaled by his own goblin glider, and apparently killed by a trap that he had left for Spider-Man. Oh, yeah, that lines up with what happens in the movie. By the way, it was Gwen Stacy that died, if you didn't know. That was very tragic at the time. Very, very tragic, actually. Wait, so what's this last one? Oh, I didn't get to that. Okay, well. I don't have time for that anyways. Maybe some other time I'll do a part 2. Because there's a lot of Spider-Man characters that we didn't even get to today. Alright, and now we're on the encyclopedia again. Green Goblin, Spider-Man's greatest enemy. For almost as long as there has been a Spider-Man, so too has the Green Goblin existed. Spider-Man's arch nemesis, the Green Goblin, is the insane, malevolent alter ego of that once respectable industrialist, Norman Osborn. Despite their mutual antagonism, the relationship between the pair is complex. Although the Green Goblin loathes and resents Spider-Man's very existence, for a long time Norman Osborn and Peter Parker shared a deep mutual respect and admiration. Osborn saw the orphan Peter as the son he really wanted. Man, poor Harry in all this. Sheesh. Long before his transformation into the Green Goblin... Wait, actually, hang on. No, it shouldn't be. Whatever. Long before his transformation into the Green Goblin, Norman Osborn was an ambitious businessman, quite prepared to sacrifice others on the altar of his own success. The co-founder of the chemical company Oscorp, Osborn gained total control by framing his business partner, Professor Mendel Strom, for embezzlement. I thought that... Okay, hang on. No, the other book said that he found out that his business partner was embezzling. Was that a retcon? Was that retconned by something? That must have been retcon. That he actually didn't embezzle, and that was all because of Norman's greed, that he framed him for embezzlement. That must be what it is. Because, like, these two books are, like, 15 years apart. There must be some kind of retcon. Which, okay, that would actually make sense. Like, that's the best reason I can come up for that discrepancy. Okay. The Goblin formula that was to prove Osborn's undoing was a concoction detailed in the professor's notes, but it was Osborn's attempt to manufacture it for himself that resulted in the solution exploding in his face. Apparently that was also due to Harry just mixing up his chemicals because he was jealous, or maybe not jealous, but he was mad at his dad for neglecting him. As a result of this explosion, Osborn's strength, stamina, and reflexes were enhanced, but his sanity began to erode. As the Green Goblin, Osborn wished to lead New York's criminal underground, and he set out to gain the respect of the key gangs by destroying Spider-Man. He developed high-tech weaponry specifically designed to achieve this end. Despite discovering Spider-Man's true identity, the Green Goblin was ultimately defeated. An electric shock sustained during a battle with the web slinger caused Osborn to regain his sanity and lose all memory of his malevolent alter ego. Peter Parker judged that it was better to allow Osborn to resume his old life. Maybe not. Who knows? Let's see. Osborn's regained sanity proved fragile. Time and time again, his inner demon, the Green Goblin, reasserted control, and although Peter repeatedly brought Osborn back to reality, the businessman's grip on sanity became more and more tenuous. During this period, Peter's then-girlfriend, Gwen Stacy, met Osborn and, overwhelmed by his charisma... I hate this. I hate this. I hate this next part. I thought this was this not retconned at some point? I feel like this was retconned at some point. This next part. I hate this because this is stupid and dumb. Dumb and stupid and stupid and dumb. Why did they write this? During this period, Peter's then girlfriend Gwen Stacy met Osborn and, overwhelmed by his charisma, became pregnant with him. Why? Why? Just gross. Why would they do that? Was that not retconned out at some point or something? I don't know. Dumb, 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 stupid dumb. 9 months later, she gave birth to twins Gabriel and Sarah in France, keeping their existence a secret from Peter. Dumb, dumb, stupid, dumb. Following Gwen's return to New York, an angry altercation between her and desperately unbalanced Osborn served to destabilize him further. Determined to punish both her and Spider-Man, when Osborn reverted to the Green Goblin, he kidnapped Gwen and carried her to the top of the Brooklyn Bridge. The ensuing confrontation with Spider-Man resulted in Gwen's death and in Osborn becoming impaled by his goblin glider. Peter Parker assumed that Osborn had been killed by the impact, but he had not allowed for the extraordinary potency of the goblin formula. While lying in a mortuary lab, Osborn's body is suddenly revived. To keep his survival a secret, Osborn substituted his own body for that of an anonymous drifter. Norman Osborn, hero. Osborn subsequently worked hard to become a hero in the eyes of the world. As the director of the Thunderbolts, he killed the Skrull Queen Varank on live TV to end the secret invasion, catapulting him into becoming the U.S. head of secretary. Comics are silly. Man, this jumps around a lot. Like, there's... How do I even go about this? Other Green Goblins. Well, maybe I should... You know what? No, I'll go after... I'll go on that after. During the Dark Reign, Osborn founded the Cabal. He dismantled S.H.I.E.L.D., replacing it with Hammer, and put villains under his control into both the Avengers and the X-Men. He also took place of both Iron Man and Captain America himself as the Iron Patriot. Yeah, it's not like in the movie where it's Rhodey that's Iron Patriot. It's Norman Osborn in the comics. Just fun fact. When Osborn led Hammer and his Dark Avengers in an unauthorized assault on Asgard, because there was a new Asgard just above Earth. I think it was above, like, Oklahoma or something. Led an unauthorized assault on Asgard. However, he met defeat, and his always fragile sanity shattered once again. He escaped on his way to prison and created a new Avengers team, hoping to use them to regain his position of power. Defeated once more, despite temporarily gaining the powers of the Super Adaptoid. I have no idea what that is, but okay. We'll just move on. Osborn based himself in the sewers in the New York City as the Goblin King. Gathered a new gang around him and plotted his ways to regain his power. The Goblin King. Okay, Osborn. And then there's this last section. Other Green Goblins, other than Norman Osborn, because there have been other Green Goblins. In becoming the Green Goblin, Norman Osborn inadvertently founded a Goblin dynasty. After witnessing his father's apparent death, A mentally unstable Harry Osborn adopted the Green Goblin mantle and attempted to destroy Spider-Man. Although Harry eventually put his father's legacy behind him, even settling down with a wife and child, life's pressures finally drove him back to the Goblin formula. Tragically, he was killed by the deadly concoction. Twice, the Goblin name has been borne by non-Osborns, with Harry's psychiatrist, Bart Hamilton, and Phil Urich, the nephew of the reporter Ben Urich, both pretenders to the Goblin crown. More recently, Gabriel Stacy, the son of Norman Osborn and Gwen Stacy, injected himself with the Goblin formula to save his own life. Now the fifth Goblin, Gabriel, remains at large somewhere in Europe. Dumb, dumb, stupid, dumb. Hate that a lot. Why did they try to friggin' do that dumb stuff with Gwen Stacy? That is stupid and dumb, and I hate it. Like, after she had her unfortunate demise on the bridge, that should have been the end. But no, they had to freaking retcon things to be like, oh, by the way, she had relations with Norman Osborn, had twins in somewhere in Europe, then went back to New York and then got killed. Hate that. Dumb, stupid, dumb, dumb. Hate. Like, why did they think that was a good idea at any point? Especially, like, doing that after the fact. Like, really? Why? So stupid and dumb, and I hate it. Anyways, that was the Green Goblin. Now, there are a lot of Spider-Man villains that I didn't even get to cover because, like, there's a lot. Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery is enormous. Like, we didn't even get to Carnage. Oh, man, we could have gone over Black Cat. We could have gone over... Oh, man, there's... Okay, so that other Green Goblin section in the Marvel Encyclopedia, that's like just one paragraph, or I guess that would be like... Yeah, that was just 1 or 2 paragraphs on like a 2-page section. No, in the Spider-Man Ultimate Guide thing, which is the other book I've been consulting, that's like 2 whole pages for other Green Goblins. So like, maybe if we do Spider-Man edition of this again, then we'll do that. We'll probably do Black Cat. Oh, Morbius is another one we could do. Okay, we already did Rhino. Oh, Kingpin would be good one, too. Ooh, the Prowler. Like, there's so many options for Spider-Man-related characters. Like, we didn't go over Scorpion or Vulture, Electro. Like, there are just so many options. We didn't go over Carnage. We didn't go over, we could go over Spider-Girl. That one's a fun one. Like, there's just so many. Oh, we could go over Kane, the Clone Saga. The Clone Saga is crazy, and it's convoluted. I would really like some kind of media to properly do the Clone Saga. Like, actually do it properly. Like, make it an actual good saga. Like, if No Way Home was able to tackle One More Day and do it properly, instead of whatever we got in the comics, I feel like someone could possibly do the Clone Saga justice and do it actually make it good. Yeah, we haven't gone over Spider Women, because there's multiples. The Hobgoblin, the Juggernaut, Cloak and Dagger are in this book. Hydro Man. Like, there's so many different things we could do with this. And here's Carnage. And the Clone Saga is crazy. Like, crazy convoluted. And nutso. But that's why I want it to be actually done good in some kind of media. Like, for example, actually, the Ultimate Comics did the Clone Saga really well. Like, I think that the Clone Saga did the... Or, not the Clone Saga. The Ultimate Spider-Man comics, they did the Clone Saga pretty dang well. And I really, actually, really recommend the Ultimate Comics because they are just really good. If you want this is the original Ultimate Spider-Man comic, by the way, because apparently there was a relaunch of the Ultimate Spider-Man comics. Like a new version where Peter's actually happily married and an adult and stuff. Ultimate Spider-Man Comics 2024. Yeah, it started in January 2024. And apparently he's like happy with a family, and I haven't read it myself, but I would like to read that. But that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about the original Ultimate Spider-Man comics are really, I really recommend them. Up to a certain point, which I hate the direction that they went. I don't want to spoil the plot point, but like it's a dumb, stupid plot point that made me immediately go like, okay, no, I hate love triangles. I hate love triangle garbage. That's all I'll leave it at that. If you've read the Ultimate Comics, you'll know the plot point just from me saying I hate love triangles. Anyways. That's it. That's it for my rant of that. Let's get rid of you and you and you. Because we're done with Marvel Deep Dive for today. Well, that actually fit in 3 hours pretty well. Heck yeah. I wasn't sure if it would fit into 3 hours that well, but hey, it did. Sometimes it goes way over. Sometimes it goes like way shorter. But yeah, that was good. That was good stuff. I didn't even need to add anything. I did need to take out, shoot, I think it was just 2 with Scorpion and Vulture, but like those are better suited for another time anyways. So yeah, that's it for today, I think. Let's go turn this music off quickly and go over here. Oh, Data, no, come back. I need you beside me. There we go. All right, thank you so much for watching. Schedule. I'm thinking about starting Spider-Man 3 early tomorrow, actually. Make it just, like a 3-hour stream and start it at, like, 1 p.m.-ish Pacific. I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure, though. I'll see. I'll start the stream at about 1 p.m. Pacific, and I'll see where we go from there. Like, it might be a shorter stream. It's probably won't be a longer stream. But in any case, thank you so much for watching. And I hope to see you tomorrow for more Spider-Man 3. And the schedule is wrong because I ended up having family dinner stuff happen yesterday, and I didn't get home until way late. So that's why we were doing Marvel Deep Dive today instead of yesterday. And that's why we're doing Spider-Man 3 tomorrow instead of today. And then that's why we're doing Marvel Rivals on Sunday instead of tomorrow. And as much as I really don't like doing 4 stream days in a row, I really want to get back on my regular schedule again. So yeah, I think we will do the Monday stream because like I want to get back to normal Monday streams, even if it is 4 days in a row. Okay, so with all of that in mind, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely rest of your morning, afternoon, evening. So yeah, I'll see you later. Bye!